Okay, so once more, thank you for joining us as we are about to learn how to monetize your expertise through LinkedIn. And joining us in the front row seat this evening is one of the top 10 out of the 100 top 100 Filipinos in LinkedIn. Let's say hi and good evening to Sir Raymond Victorino. Sir Raymond, good evening.
Hi, Joe Mark. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever part of the world you are. And thank you for
Yeah,
joining us in this session. Nice to be
nandito
back,
na
Joe
naman
Mark.
ulit tayo. How
Yes,
are you,
yes.
sir?
Okay naman, we just actually recovered from COVID, no? And thank God, no? We thrived and we're okay now. So pretty much we're stable naman. How about
Ayan.
you? Kumusta
Again,
ka, Joe Mark?
yep. Before that, again, we have some new people once more watching us. So to those who are not yet familiar with Sir Raymond, who are you, sir? What do you do?
Oh, okay. Yun, as Joe Mark said, well, it's a blessing, no, to be part of the top 100 Filipinos on LinkedIn. So thank you to Virginia Bautista for leading that initiative. No? And
Yep.
aside from that, I'm also an HR practitioner. Well, I just started also doing career coaching right now, and yeah, I just continue to no, to post hopefully inspirational content that can inspire our LinkedIn community over here.
And I had this news that you have a newborn, new baby. Is it right?
Yes, I have a newborn. Actually, he's already 2.5 months old, and so it's actually both challenging and wonderful experience, no, to be a parent again to a newborn. So yeah, I'm a daddy again.
Congratulations. Is it a B or G?
It's a boy. So I already have a girl, 6-year-old daughter, and then a boy. So sabi nga nila, kota na. No? So I think, yeah, we're okay with 2 children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ano daw? Curious to know daw. Where are you connected right now? Are you still with?
With my former company. No, no, I'm actually, well, to be honest, I'm actively exploring right now. So I'm no longer connected with any company, but at the same time, I'm also trying to explore possibilities, no, outside the corporate world, possibly to do part time or freelance. So that's why this topic is really very interesting, no, because I'm
Yep.
sure a lot of our attendees have been using LinkedIn for quite some time, and then maybe they haven't really monetized, no, their expertise.
Yep. And yeah, we all know that I'm familiar, of course, with Sir Raymond, and he has really a great, a wide reach. And with that reach, you can really turn that into something, right? So, joining us once more, without further ado, joining us this evening to share to us her knowledge and expertise on how to monetize your expertise is LinkedIn. Let's say hi and good evening to Miss Virginia Bautista. Hello,
Hey,
Miss
Joe
V.
Mark.
Good
Hello, Joe Mark and
evening,
Raymond.
V.
It's great to be here again.
Yes.
Narinig ko si Raymond, congratulations on your baby boy. It's really challenging kapag merong newborn sa bahay. Pero sabi mo, kota na, dalawa. Ako, 5 ang anak ko. Pero tapos na. Pero
Mahirap ang buhay
paglaki,
ngayon.
paglaki nila, ang sarap naman for a parent.
Yeah, that's
Ayan.
true. That's true.
So I
What's
think,
new now, Miss V? What's new? Anong ganap? What's new with you?
Yes.
what's
What's
Any
new
up?
with
updates?
me?
It's been a while.
Oo nga, it's been a while. What's new? Hopefully, magkaroon ulit ng LinkedIn Local Philippines. And I'm really looking at nakitayo, kayong top 100 to really make this a community And we're
Mm.
planning something eh. May mga kausap ako na nasa top 100, dapat nandun din kayo. And I want to come up with something for, not for us naman, but how do we give back on a collective effort? Because I want to
Yeah.
make the top 100 a year-long engagement with each of us. So I actually invited, I asked Bless to invite all of those na nasa top 100 from 2018 to 2021. So imagine what we can do together. So sana maraming mangyaring mga collabs between and among all of us.
Yes,
Ayan.
so I believe in you, V. We can make that happen, no? Of course, except for the things that are beyond our control, pero other than that, I'm sure
Right.
mangyayari.
Yeah, yeah. And for you also, Raymond, we're extremely excited because yeah, hope we're also excited for you to possibly start your own
Ito
um
na yan.
consulting or something. So we're excited for you as well, Raymond.
Maybe after this, no, because I'm sure I'm gonna learn so much from V tonight. Also our attendees.
Ayan. So once more, we're everyone to all pala, no, to all, we're encouraging everyone to ask questions. So again, this is not a conversation between the
Mhm.
three of us. Let's make this interactive. We highly appreciate your comments, thoughts. Ask them in the chat box. So yep. Once more, how do we begin, Miss Virginia? Do we have any
I
something to
have
share there,
a short
guys?
presentation pero ay mas maganda pag may Q&A later. So I think this show tonight, how to monetize your expertise through LinkedIn. I heard Raymond saying something like, there are a lot of people on LinkedIn and they're getting a lot of engagement, but until now after years of being there, they haven't really monetized their expertise. Or maybe they have monetized pero parang dalawa, isa, tatlong sources of income. So tonight, our goal is, I want to give you some insights. Paano ba mag-monetize ng expertise? In two ways. One, yung sabi ni nga ni John Mark kanina while we were talking, habang natutulog ka, you earn, you get money while sleeping. It's possible. And at the same time, how do you actually leverage your expertise? How do you leverage your network and converting it into money? Because at the end of the day, if you're just on LinkedIn, you're spending a lot of time. The important thing for you to do to sustain that is to really have some parang financial caution naman. This will be helpful, I guess, sa mga, if you have a full-time job, but you're looking to hustle. Paano ba mag full-time job and gusto mo mag-hustle, paano ka ba kikita through LinkedIn without selling, ha? Without selling. And number two, if you are on a transition stage, like maybe 1 year or 2 years from now, or maybe right now you want to transition from the corporate to being an independent coach, consultant, or full-time freelancer, first thing you have in mind is that how do I make sure that I have a stream of income? Na may financial security ka. So this is for you as well. And to everyone who would like to convert their network, convert their expertise into something that people will really want to buy from you, then this is for you. I want to share my screen.
Yep, please do.
Yeah. So
So
so while V is sharing her screen, alam mo, John Mark, sometimes ang struggle ng mga tao is ano eh, parang yung question, yung answering the question of where am I really good at, no? And what
mhm.
expertise do I really choose, no, for me to provide services?
And yeah, I'm sure there are, I guess, many instances that I guess both me and Virginia, actually mahihain din po ako sobra, no? And it like her
It's not
it
showing.
Ako din.
mahihain din po, it took me around more than 5 years to parang to be pushed to do what we are currently doing. And yeah, I'm Miss Virginia and I shared that ano din eh, that uh, journey.
Yeah.
And alam niyo naman po, we started this out really as to make a difference, not as ano 'di ba, to help uh, to help to help others out, to be a blessing. And I guess if you if that's your mindset, your intent, it will definitely fall into place. So
That's a
yep.
good thing to say it, John Mark, because what I'm going to share tonight is not how you can sell on LinkedIn. What I'm going to share with you is how do you make money from adding value to other people. I'm still in that aspect that actually by just adding value, building your expertise, building your reputation, you can convert that into something that will sustain you financially. But how do you do that step by step? Because again,
Wow.
a lot of people are on LinkedIn, but they don't know how do I monetize this. I have a lot of people who came to me na I've been doing this, I'm getting a lot of engagements, marami akong likes, marami naman akong comments, but people come to them, and when people come to them, these people want to hire them for free. That's another problem. When they come to you, and then they just want your free service. But you cannot do it. When I was starting ganun din people will come to me, I will help them. And then I realized I can't help people 24 hours because I also have to sustain my family financially, di ba? I also have to support financially. So meron akong full-time freelancing at that time. And because of my experience then that I had a six-figure freelance job tapos biglang nawala. So, anong mangyayari? What's going to happen? And I didn't even tell my husband that I was being terminated. And I was given two options 3 years, 3 months, you stay for 3 months with pay or you resign in 3 days. But then at that time, I already wanted to leave anyway. And medyo nag-take off na rin yung parang branding ko on LinkedIn. So I'm confident that for sure there will be other opportunities for me. But at that time, I had no idea. Saan nakukuha majority of of my income is from that freelance job. Pag nawala siya, okay, so I just got a car loan at that time Tapos, syempre, nag-adjust na rin yung lifestyle mo according to how you're earning. Pag nawala yung majority nun, it's really a huge thing. Pero good thing because I'm active on LinkedIn, parang 3 weeks after that, someone contacted me from Clark, dito sa Clark, and they were looking for someone to help with their LinkedIn marketing efforts. So that became parang yung the one that saved me at that time. So today I want to show you, first step natin is don't forget the basic. Identify your core genius. When we say core genius, um, I think I have to, where do I get them? When we say core genius, it doesn't mean just your skills. What I learned from one of the coaches I'm working with is that sometimes, di ba, we know a lot, we know how to do a lot of things. Tingin natin, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. But we have to know, even if we're skilled at something, is that something that we love doing? Are we also passionate about that? For example, nung when I was in the corporate, pag uwi ko sa bahay, magaling ako maglinis ng bahay. Pero when I left the corporate building VB consulting, you no longer have time to do that. Even if I know how to do that because I've been doing that, I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy building the business. So you also have to know what is your core genius, that thing that you're really good at, you're passionate about it, and it's aligned with your purpose. Ayun yung gusto mong gawin. Because when you're building your reputation, when you're building your brand, when you're trying to get that brand so you can monetize your expertise, it's a long game. And if you're not passionate about what you do, if it's not aligned with your core values, it's easy to give up. So don't forget that. It might need another separate webinar just to identify your core genius, because I know this is a problem for most people. Even here on LinkedIn, when you look at all the headline experiences, parang they're doing everything. Author, speaker, trainer, consultant, and everything. Just decide on one. Ako, I'm a fan of one And that leads us to number two. Find your niche. So, meron ka ng core genius. Okay, say, ako, LinkedIn consulting. But find your niche. When you say find your niche, again, this might require another webinar because, again, this is one of the challenges. But really on LinkedIn, what works is that when you have a niche. For example, I know LinkedIn, but there's a lot of things that you can do on LinkedIn. Pwedeng personal branding, thought leadership, content marketing, lead generation. But I don't want to do all of these things. I just want to focus on one thing. So I decided, okay, LinkedIn, but personal branding only. We do lead generation, yes. We do content marketing because personal branding is part of content marketing. We do thought leadership. But I don't want to be known for the combination of LinkedIn and lead generation combination or LinkedIn content marketing, what have you. I just want to focus on LinkedIn and personal branding. So that's the niche. And then I further niche down. Okay, I realized later on that I'm not for everyone. So I help a lot of people, executives, kahit na anong position. If you need LinkedIn, I can help you. But I realized there are certain people that I enjoy working with and that I can have maximum results for them. So I niche down again. I want to work only with coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs. There are people who come to me that they need help on LinkedIn and CV, but we don't specialize on CV. So what I do, I partner with others who will take care, who will do the CV part, and we do the LinkedIn side of it. So I don't want to do everything. I just want to be laser focused. And really, that's what works on LinkedIn. Because if you're focused, your messaging will also be focused. So find your niche. That's the second one. And it's a requirement. If you really want to be paid your worth, you want to charge high, find your niche. Specialists and experts are paid more compared to generalists. So make that resolve to really niche down. Ang lagi kong sinasabi, ano ba yun? Go niche or go home. Either you go niche or you go home. Talagang mahihirapan ka if you want to be everything for everyone. You will just end up with no one. Number three, so now you know your core genius, you know your niche. The next thing is package your core genius. For example, you know that you are good at inspiring people. Nakita mo when you post something that is inspirational, they message you and then they take action. They get inspired. So now your impact is transformation of their life. But how are you going to communicate that so that people will pay you doing that? You have to package it. Kaya magkakaroon ka ng package 1, package 2, package 3. Paano mo sila ilalagay sa isang package in a way that the pricing will also different, the deliverables and the results expected will also be different. And always remember that people pay us for the results that we create, not for the task that we will do for them. So it's not I'm going to optimize your profile. That's not the one people are paying us for. What they're paying us for is that am I going to be able to use my profile to generate business, to get clients, to get hired? The results are the ones that people are looking for. So package it in a way that you articulate what results you can bring to your target clients, or if you're looking for a job, package it as well. For consultants and coaches especially. And number four, so apat lang yun. Number four is build your personal brand. And this is the key that I found on LinkedIn. By adding value, by articulating your value, you actually are building your personal brand. So far, may question?
Siguro I'll just comment, no. I love what you
Mhm.
said about narrowing down your niche, no. Kasi I think even for coaches, no, I see a lot of coaches who are career coaches, no. I think there are opportunities there to still narrow down. What kind of career coach are you? Are you
Yeah.
focusing on job promotion, on job transition, no? So yeah, I think that's a really great insight.
Yeah, that's also another way of narrowing down. Ang daming coaches eh. Pag nilagay mo dyan career coach, ka, ang dami nyo. But what particular problem of the client are you actually solving? That's your niche. What problem are you solving? And who are you targeting? So I meron akong guide questions for that later. So again, I think in every talk that I say this, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And especially now, most of the people that you meet, dahil sa COVID, you just meet online. And for sure, the first thing they do is to Google search your name And you better make sure that they will like what they see on page one.
Yeah,
Remember
Miss
that,
Lee,
yeah,
personal brand alone, the words itself parang it's another serious serious uh
exactly.
topic,
Oo.
'di ba? To get into.
Yeah, so this one, Jomar, our ano, today our discussion is more high level. If they don't know what personal branding is, or they don't know how to optimize their profile, yun yung basic. So once they optimize na and they understand what personal branding is, and they know their expertise, ito na yung next level. Magmo-monetize ka na. So you can't monetize without even knowing who you are. That's an important thing. So
Mhm.
basically, again, personal branding, sabi nga ni John Mark, it requires another long discussion then, but I just wanna mention this for those who are not yet familiar. It's a process of really marketing yourself, and the goal of that is to attract opportunities. It's not just you go to LinkedIn just for the sake of going to LinkedIn. Of course, you can do that, but if you have goals in mind, you want to do that strategically. You want to be more intentional in how you use social media, including LinkedIn. Will your presence help you with your career? Will your presence help you have that financial caution you need? Because you can see now every job is temporary. And perception matters a lot. And LinkedIn is very powerful in terms of keywords. So once you know your niche, once you know your focus, choose a keyword. I always mention this: choose a keyword that you want to be found for. When you say keyword, these are the keywords your target market is typing on Google search or on LinkedIn search. In my case, it's LinkedIn and personal branding. So if you go to Google search and you type in incognito mode, you type LinkedIn expert, I usually appear on page one. And it's because of the deliberate effort through the years. It's not one day, 2 days nangyari na siya. Hindi po. Years yan. Hindi ako talaga SEO expert. The only SEO that I understand really is the SEO on LinkedIn. Pero aside from that, hindi siya talaga. So it took me years to do that. But imagine everything that you do on LinkedIn, it compounds. Yung consistency
Mhm.
that you do every day, you post, even if you don't see any engagement, it still compounds. Maybe not in terms of likes or comments, but in terms of getting found on Google search, because LinkedIn has high domain authority, especially when you write an article. So because Google is scrolling LinkedIn articles, when you publish an article, you feel like no one is actually reading it. But what's the return for you through the years? Your article, if it has the right keywords that you want to be found for, it will help you get discovered by people who need your services. And it happens to me many times, because when leads come to me, when prospects come to me, the first thing I ask them is, how did you find me? Many of them are finding me on Google searches. Pero nung una, hindi. Nung lately lang, after years of being consistent on LinkedIn. So it compounds. So don't focus so much on parang short-term results. Like, uy, walang, may nag-like ba, may nag-engage ba? Short-term yan. Look at the long-term results. If you were consistent, perhaps sa SEO ka babawi. It helps in building your reputation. And your reputation is the one that will help you monetize your expertise. It matters a lot. So, because perception matters, your goal, how do you stand out? Again, maraming coaches, maraming consultants, maraming HR consultants, and LinkedIn experts, marami din. But the thing is, how do you stand out? And ito yung three questions that I always share, John Mark and Raymond, to all those who want to use LinkedIn effectively and later on monetize your expertise. Before you do that, I want you to answer three questions. When you have clarity on these three questions, it will be easier for you to demonstrate who you are and to attract people who will be interested in your services. So number one, so if you have a note, I have a notebook. So write down the three questions. Maybe we're not going to ask the audience now, but if they have some notes there, they can write the questions and then they can answer this later. First question: what do you want to be known for? Personal branding is all about positioning. You position yourself in the minds of your target audience. How do you want them to perceive you? What do you want to be known for? Answer that question. in your mind. If you can't answer that completely, parang ano bang gusto? Marami ako nakakausap when I ask them this question, biglang silence. Because they
Yeah.
haven't thought of it. Di ba, no?
Same here, Miss V. I am confused up to now as well. Been years because
Mm.
I am as you know, I am engaged on a lot of
Yan
activities.
kasi,
It
oo.
confuses me up to now. Yan. How about
I
Kailangan
you,
think
ma-review
Raymond?
yan.
I think it's the same question with ano, how do you want to be remembered, di ba?
Yeah.
So medyo extreme siya, di ba? When you die, how do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to be remembered?
But it's very
But
important
yeah.
because when you just go to LinkedIn, engage ka lang ng engage, like ka ng like, post ka ng post, for sure you're posting in random. Kasi you don't know what you wanna be known for eh. So kung ano lang naisip, uy, gusto ko to, post ko nga to. Uy, may ginawa ko, post ko nga to. But if you want results, you want to be strategic. Every post you do, every post you share should help contribute to what you want to be known for. So, basic to talagang kailangan pag-isipan and you really have to take some time to think about it. If you find yourself, sabi mo nga, John Mark, if you find yourself doing a lot of things, medyo nakakapagod, di ba? Ganun din ako kasi dati. You get tired and at the end of the day, are these things helping me achieve my goals? What is your number one goal? What do you want to be known for? Question number two, who do you want to help? Again, I will always say this. You're not for everyone. You cannot help everyone. If you think you can, then it's really wrong. Like you cannot help all 810 million on LinkedIn. So decide if you are a coach, if you are a consultant, who is the best person that you can help. And when I say that, it means who can you give the best results. Just like in my case, along the way, I learned that the best ones that really benefit from our services are those are coaches, independent coaches, consultants, those who need to generate the revenue for themselves and later on scale when they're in the executive, yung mga leaders sa executive, I used to work with them pero hindi siya yung best result that I can create. So I decided ito lang, these are the people that I want to help. Number three question, what problems do you solve? If you're not solving any problem, you cannot sell anything. And that is so true. So you have to know, okay, I want to be known for like this, whatever it is. And these are the people that I want to help. The next question is, what is their main problem? May karugtong pa yan. What is their problem right now? If you want to sell right now, then you have to know what keeps them at night now.
Yeah.
Oo, kasi
Hmm.
kung gusto nila long term, then ang hirap. It's very hard to sell to people who have no pain. Yung hindi pa
Mhm.
nila nararamdaman na, okay naman ako, may trabaho naman ako, malaki naman yung kita ko. So they don't see the value of building their personal brand. I'm okay with that. But once nawala yung job nila, na isa lang yung income nila, dun sila nagigising na dapat pala noon ko pa ginawa. Marami akong nakitang ganyan. So in your case, who are those people? What are their pain points? If you're a consultant, if you're a coach, which problem do they have right now that you can solve? So again, think about these three questions. What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to help? And what problems do you solve? The answers to all of these three questions will help you package your core genius. So this is by
Hmm.
package one because I want to be known as for example, as the leading LinkedIn expert in the Philippines. So I want to help Filipino coaches and consultants in generating revenue. And what is their problem? Because I know that many coaches and consultants, they rely only on word of mouth. Diba ganun yung mga coaches and consultants? Yes, they are good at what they do. They are experts at what they do. Pero they rely only on word of mouth. So kapag wala na yung word of mouth advertising na yun for them, what do they do? Where do they get clients? That's the pain point that I'm trying to solve for those specific people. So yun. three
All right.
questions.
So,
Okay,
D, I have
very
a question.
sure.
Yeah. I'm just curious, no, kasi based on what you shared earlier, seems like it's okay to go through a trial and error process. It doesn't have to necessarily have to be parang at one attempt or first attempt, you already hit what it is that, your answers to those three questions.
Yes,
Is that
very
correct?
true. Very true. So, don't be a perfectionist na, uy, kailangan, sabi ni Virginia, kailangan may sagot na ako sa tatlong to before. Hindi. Actually, your own network, the people surrounding you on LinkedIn, they will give you feedback. Just start posting,
Mm.
basta do something. Mag-post ka siguro ngayon, next week, after next week, mag-random ka. Pero you will see some feedback. And from the feedback, learn from it. Actually, right now, I have 11 income sources, but all of it, I didn't just wake up one morning and decide, oh, I want to have something like this. It doesn't happen that way. What I did is I listened to feedback, I listened to customers or prospects who reach out to us. They ask if do you have something like this? And I don't have that. And then I just had an idea. For example, I have LinkedIn training when, if you're familiar with Nika Valdea,
Mm.
Yep.
she reached out to me in 2018, I think. She said, do you have a course or training or a workshop that I can enroll in? At the time, I didn't have any. I just have my are done for you services. So that gave me an idea. So I created a LinkedIn training. Then once I finished that, when I finished that, I reached out to her. Then I said, Nika, I already have this, ganyan, ganyan. And she was happy. Nag-enroll talaga siya. And then also my mentoring program. I have a mentoring program, but it's not something like I just realized I want to do this. People are also asking me because they want really one-on-one support. So that's why I came up with a one-on-one. And so to your point, Raymond, it's correct. Don't be afraid to try different things and learn from it. Wag lang yung blindly you keep doing what you've been
Yeah.
doing and wala namang result, same pa din yung
Mm.
ginagawa mo. It's not gonna help you at all. Adjust ka based on feedback. That's a good thing about a community nga, about LinkedIn eh. Kasi you get feedback, you know their problems, and when you see people posting, di ba, they talk about their concerns and problems, and you have a discovery call with a prospect. From the discovery call, you will also discover what else you
Mm.
can do. Di ba? Dun sa discovery call, because during discovery call, you ask a lot of questions because you want to know itong what problems do you solve. Ano ba yung problema niya? So you want to solve that. Sorry. So sa discovery call, you will learn a lot and adjust from
Yeah.
there. And ito, LinkedIn, I'm sure people are already familiar, but I just want to highlight, ang bilis mag-grow, 810 million members na from 200 countries and regions. So imagine the opportunity. So for Filipinos, talagang it's still my advocacy until now to get more Filipinos on board. Imagine yung 10 million na to. I don't know ilan na yung active eh. The last time I checked, pero last month pa yon 80,000 plus. So ilan lang yun, di ba? Ang konti lang ng active na Filipinos on LinkedIn. But I really see that opportunities are there. It's just a matter of, are you there when there are opportunities? So, and of course, if you want to monetize your expertise, if you want to be an expert in your niche, you have to be in a platform trusted by people. And LinkedIn is the most trusted according to Business Insider Intelligence for 5 consecutive years. So people do business in the platform because there's high trust on the platform. And when we say high trust, this is an important ingredient that will help you monetize the know, like, and trust factor. It doesn't mean that if you have a product and you mention your product on LinkedIn, it doesn't mean that people will buy from you. People buy only if they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
Yep.
And that's the reason you create content. That's the reason you engage with them because you want them to know you. Ah, si Raymond pala, wala na siya sa, sabi mo kanina, di ba? Wala na pala siya sa, maganda rin yung point na yun, Raymond, because maybe most of the people who know you, they still think you are still in that company.
Yeah.
But your target market ngayon, now that you are exploring and maybe thinking about your target market, for sure they still don't know that you can help them. Baka they think you're still in the company doing this and that. So they have to know exactly what you're doing now. And then
Yeah.
the reason we engage, we build relationship, they have to like you. And you have to like them also. 'Di ba dapat ganun? They like you, you like them. They trust you, you trust them. Unless you have this no like and trust factor, it's very hard to sell. So
Yeah.
hindi lang kung may book ako tapos bebenta ko na sa LinkedIn. Some people will come to me, I have a book, I have an online course, I have this and that. How do I get people to buy? Tapos may quote, may ano na sila, may I want like 50 sales in 1 week, may ganyan na sila. When I look at their LinkedIn profile, nothing. I tell them it's very clear. People will not buy from you. Maybe you're popular in real life. And maybe the people you know in real life, they probably are not on LinkedIn. So I tell them that's not how it works on LinkedIn. You have to invest your time and they have to trust you. Parang ganito. For example, if someone reaches out to you and that person is selling a book on how to grow your business from 0 to 10 billion in 30 days, sabi niya. And then you look at his LinkedIn profile, parang matutulungan ba ako nito? Can this person really help me grow my business from 0 to 10 billion in 30 days? We all ask that question when people reach out to us, diba? The first thing we do, we look at their profile. And if the profile is not something that we can trust, even if we're not questioning the person, we're just questioning what we see. Because as I mentioned, perception is everything. Even if you're really good at what you do, but if you reach out on LinkedIn with nothing on your profile, expect what people will think about you. This perception matters. In fact, even if the other one parang not as good as you, but that person's profile is really optimized, others will prefer that. Pero mas magaling ka. So it means that if you don't optimize your profile, you also deprive those market that need help your expertise. 'Di ba? Parang isipin mo, look at that in that perspective. If you do not articulate exactly your expertise, it's like depriving other people of, getting to know you and,
Yeah.
working with you, working with the best. Because you're the best in the industry, pero you were not able to articulate it. So napupunta sila dun sa mga second class. Pero
Mm.
maganda yung profile, optimized. So think of it that way. It's really not about us at the end of the day. If you know
Mm.
you're really good, you want the right person to find you. And for that person to find you, articulate what you're good at. So, meron akong konting tips on how to build your credibility through LinkedIn. These are all tactical na. So, tactical if you have pen or you're recording or something, these are the things that you can immediately apply to your profile. 5 lang to, but these are very important. Number one, as I always say, clearly articulate what you do. Wag niyong gawing hodgepodge yung headline niyo na ang dami-dami. Ano ba to? Remember in neuroscience, when we see a lot of things, di ba? Wala na. People don't want to make that decision anymore. And there are so many options when they see a lot of things. It's like a threat to the brain na ang labo. Ano bang ginagawa nito? The clearer, the better. So yung keywords nyo, limit to one or two. Ako, I'm a fan of one. Kung may two ka, make sure that two keywords are related to each other. Like you're doing A with B or you're doing B through A. Pero if they're two, pero they're totally different, you're a financial advisor and then you're also a LinkedIn consultant. So, ano yun? So, tingnan mo. Focus on one. Make that resolve to focus on one. It doesn't mean that that one thing will be you the rest of your life. It just means that you have to have a strategy. For example, if you're transitioning hindi naman ikaw to Raymond, pero naisip from corporate to independent consulting or coaching in the next 2 years. For example, may full-time pa and you're transitioning in the next 2 years. You already have to decide in 3 months, 6 months, how do I position myself? Make it really clear. Number two, connect with your target market. Again, this is so cliche na. And this is the good thing about LinkedIn. You don't post and just hope that you're targeting will see it. It's it's that you can control who to add to your network, who to connect with. And because of that, make it strategic. Connect with your target market. Not because you want to sell to them. I want to highlight that because on LinkedIn there are so many people who will connect with their target audience. For example, kung target ko si si Jomart. Connect ako kay Jomart. Pagka-accept niya, after 3 seconds, meron na akong PDF, meron na akong brochure, meron na akong services. Hindi ganon. That's not the objective of connecting with your target market. The objective number one is when they post something that will give you insights on their problems, that will help you discover what their pain points are. So you can follow them. You will know, ito yung pain points niya. And number two, build relationship. You can build relationship and add value to that person. It doesn't mean that it will bring you business right now. Maybe in the next 2 to 3 years or 6 months, you never know. But the important thing is that if you share content consistently, then when that person needs your help, you appear on their feeds. It happens to me many times. Sa una, they don't see the value. But according to HubSpot, it takes parang 7 times of exposure to you and your services to what you do before a person makes that decision to contact you. Because
Mm.
as you know, people do their own research, di ba? Lahat naman tayo, we know, pag may pain points tayo na kailangan ko pa ng another income, magsisearch ka, how to monetize your, ganyan, magsisearch yung tao. And when they search to find solution to their problem, you want to make sure that they will see your profile on Google search, on LinkedIn search. So connect with your target market. Number three, if you want people to buy from you, show your expertise. So it goes to posting. Ano ba yung ipopost ko? Go back to the 3 questions. What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to help? And what problem do you solve? Okay, so who do I target? What problems do they have? What are their pain points? Talk about it. Your own content, your own voice. So wag kang don't post ng random because when the people always see you in their feeds, today you're talking about fintech. Next day you're talking about something else and then third day something else. You're confusing people. So make sure that your posts are relevant to your expertise. Pero hindi naman kailangan lagi. You can have like 5 days, 3 days expertise yon. And yung 2 day story. But even if it's a story, anchor mo din sa expertise mo. So when I tell a story, I anchor it with what I do. Like if I talk about my story being rejected and all that, I anchor that with, okay, so I realized that I have to build multiple sources of income and not rely only on one. And how do I do that? Invest in yourself, build build your personal brand. So ina-align ko doon. Pero makikita nyo walang selling doon, walang buy now. I don't do that. Number four, a lot of social proof. The more, the better. So, you will see on your LinkedIn profile, merong recommended yung LinkedIn. So, I think licenses and certifications, this is crucial for coaches. Recommendations, a lot of it. Publications, meron kayong publications, patents, honors and awards, the more social proof, the better. And you have to articulate that on your profile. I'll show you later how to do that. Number five, and I see this working really well, and you know this because you're also on the top 100, building a community. The good thing about building a community is that you know that there are people in your community na hindi sila, ano yon, sometimes people who react to your post, these are random people eh. They will react once, pero after that, wala na sila. But the people that you build in your community, these are the people who stick with you. They don't have to be your target market, but they are the ones who will help spread your ideas. And that helps a lot. Ako kasi I don't connect with my target market. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we do that for our clients. Pero personally, I don't do outreach. Hindi ako nag-outreach, hindi ako nagko-connect. Busy ako nag-build ng community eh. Pero we're growing. We're
Yeah.
thriving. Because I know, because ang values ko kasi when you give, it goes back 100-fold in ways you can never imagine. So I operate on that. I'm coming from that aspect and perspective eh. And it's working. So what I did naman, so merong top 100, um, nung una, hindi siya ganong community feeling eh. Pero recently, ang dami collabs na nangyayari. And because it's like we're in one group, if we feel like, we really have to leverage each other's strengths and how can we help and how can we help more people, ganyan. And then I converted that some sort of community to get more people to be interested in it by creating a newsletter. So I was thinking of creating a newsletter aligned with my expertise. Pero just last November, I thought maybe I could create a newsletter targeted sa top 100. And that's what I'm doing now, which you can also do. So build the community. Okay,
Yeah.
meron kayong question before we move on. Water lang.
Uh, Siguro comment lang on my end, B. I do agree, no, with regard to the top 100 Filipinos. Kasi based on my own experience, parang if before I used to, engage with a few people, no, that I know who are somewhat close with me, no, in that inner circle. But
Mm.
after that top 100 was launched, especially yung recognition program, parang it gave me a sense of familiarity to the others, no, on the list. And right now, I see myself engaging with these people, no. So it just grew my community even bigger.
Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
I think the power of marketing, the future of marketing really is in community. So if you want to further monetize your expertise, start building a community. I'm not monetizing in a way that magiging paid siya. It's monetizing in me. It's converting, in my case, it's converting because I get so many referrals. Sa sa mga not only from the people who are in the top 100 but with the people who know them, because the top 100 may mga network kayo eh. So when we engage in each other's posts, what happens that we expose each other to our own network, and it's a huge thing on LinkedIn. So I think the really idea is, even if you want to monetize, don't think about monetizing. Think about doing it organically by adding value. Okay, two things lang yan. You want to monetize, two things lang. Always remember, you have to have the expertise. It's not the expertise that you just took one course and you're already an expert. And that is why, experts get a bad rap, because there are people who will just take one course. After 2.5, 3 hours of course, they become an expert. But then it doesn't mean naman that you should have 10 years of experience to become an expert. Because being an expert can also be relative and subjective. You don't have to be an expert and be better than everyone else. You just have to be chapters away from your target audience. So if this is your target audience, so for example, Philippines, you know that there are 10 million and yet only 80,000 are active. So it means they're not yet familiar with LinkedIn. And so with them, compared with them, maybe I already know a lot compared with them. So maybe I could be an expert. So hindi naman kailangan na 10 years mo nang ginagawa for you to be an expert. But at the same time, it's not like taking one course and then become an expert at that. You have to show a lot of social proof. You have to make sure that you can back it up with data. When you say that you're a LinkedIn expert, how long have you been doing this, for example? Ako kasi, more than 5 years and every day, 365 days a week. And managing hundreds of profiles, optimizing hundreds of profiles, yung experience na yun, doing the same thing every day. And that's the power also of, focusing on one thing. Because I'm a fan of one. I don't do a lot of things. Every day, all I do is this, what I'm doing right now, LinkedIn and personal branding. Hindi ako rumaraket, quote unquote, nang walang connection sa ginagawa ko ngayon. I'm very, very focused. Even if maraming opportunities, like people will come to me, we're looking for a trainer for business writing or for social media. Social media, sabi ko, LinkedIn lang alam ko. Re-refer na lang kita. O kaya personal branding, pero ang gusto nila yung personal branding, yung the one that Delby does and Doreen does. This is not, magkaiba kami ng niche. Sabi ko, I know personal branding, pero LinkedIn lang ang kaya kong i-articulate. So I refer them to others. So that's the good thing about knowing the people in your community. You know their strengths. If you get an opportunity, you can share the opportunity with them. And I'm happy because sila din, they know what I do. They also refer potential clients to me. So just because you get an opportunity to do something, if it's not within your expertise, don't be tempted to do it, because you might as well spend your time honing your expertise rather than doing something else. So yung mga training na business writing, leadership training, sabi ko, wala mo nakalagay na leadership expert sa ano ko, sa profile ko. Pero I have a lot of connections na coaches and leadership trainers. I can refer you. So ganun, be expert at what you do. Huwag mo kunin lahat. Those, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Give it to others. And
Yeah.
what happens is that they will give back to you. Even you don't
Yeah.
expect, ha? Parang, oy, bibigay ko to Raymond, bigyan mo din ako. Hindi ganun. But
Ay,
don't think, wag mo sabihin na lahat ng opportunities sa'yo. It's just that, stay on your lane.
mm,
It's important to
yeah.
stay in your lane. Wag mong lahat gagawin mo, magiging generalist ka na naman. Ito na nga, nag-expertise ka na
mm,
nga eh. People have tendency to do that because they will
yeah.
earn money from here. Sige, gagawin ko nga to, once lang naman eh. So,
Yeah.
di ba?
It can
It's
be
so
very
tempting eh.
tempting.
Yeah.
Yes, especially if you are desperate about, maybe monetizing your presence in LinkedIn, di ba? So I think yung sabi mo nga, Bino, we focus on the long term, not just on the short term. And of course, yung three questions that you just answered totally.
Yeah, very important.
Awesome.
So ako sobrang John Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, both me and Raymond are in the front seat, so we're learning a lot.
Yes,
I invited some
very true.
people, ayaw nyo ah. This is the benefit pag when I sometimes invite people, you get to be on the front seat of someone who's ano, 'di ba? Talking so much good stuff.
Yeah, alam mo, John Mark, while D was actually discussing nga deep inside, I was feeling this ouch. Parang feeling ko tinatamaan ako sa na-mention ni B. So, it's an eye-opener.
Pero ako for you parang what I felt naman is parang good thing na balay mo. I'm sure there are people waiting for you to be available. It just so happened, sasabihin pa lang nila after na itong live stream natin. So, that's what I think for you eh. So, good thing this happened, di ba?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So be an expert. And the first thing is, if you have this imposter syndrome na hindi naman ako expert, get rid of that thought. Ikaw lang ang magiging ano mo eh. Don't make yourself, hold yourself back. And remove those thoughts, self-limiting beliefs. Again, it's another session probably with a coach. But I meet a lot of people when you say expert, parang hindi naman ako expert. Then, you start being an expert. Learn, apply, and learn from it. Make some tweaks and all that. Be an expert on that. Number two, credibility. So again, you want to monetize, be known in your niche. Be the expert. Be the go-to person. Number two, be credible. Even if you look like an expert, but you're not credible, because when you work with people, they don't like the results. Because I know a lot of people, maliit lang yung industry, they have a lot of promises, and then they are not really able to deliver on those promises. The moment you start working with your clients, the moment you get hired, now the credibility game starts. You have to be credible not only on your profile but in real life as well. When you work with people, you have to establish credibility. Again, without being an expert, being seen as an expert on LinkedIn, and without that credibility, it's very hard to sell. So don't go to LinkedIn, then you have a book, then you sell the book. That's not how it works. Okay, this is a list of active revenue sources. There are at least two types of revenue sources. One is called active revenue sources, the other one is passive. When it's active, you are using your time to earn from that. When it's passive, you earn even if you're sleeping. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. But these are some of the active. Ay, sorry. These are some of the active revenue sources that I have here. So speaking. So imagine being on LinkedIn and getting people to invite you to speak. That will help in building your reputation. But of course, if yung profile that I show kanina, if there's nothing on your profile, don't expect them to invite you to speak. No? And if you don't know your expertise, how will they invite you? Like if you're a hodgepodge person, lahat ikaw na ang ginagawa mo na, people will get confused. How will people invite you? Remember that usually when we get invited to speak, because they see what our expertise is. So for example, I don't have to market myself as a speaker. I market myself as a LinkedIn and personal brand strategist. But the moment people need help in LinkedIn and personal brand strategy, they come to me and invite me to speak without me telling them, hey, I'm also a speaker. So I see that if it's not your main source of revenue, you don't really have to add that to your headline and all that, because that's quite generic. If you want to add speaker on your headline, you have to also include your expertise, because people invite you to speak for your expertise. So highlight your expertise. And active din yung corporate workshops. Active siya kasi you have to spend time to earn from that. Merong corporate, exclusive, meron din public workshops. You can create your own public workshops, parang create an event and then put a price tag and then you earn from it. Live webinar. Here in the Philippines, most people, maybe sa experience nyo din, if they come to you, they expect you to speak for free. Pero pag corporate na, pag gano'n, halimbawa corporate, sometimes they still expect you to speak for free. Sa akin, okay lang to speak for free. Number one, I speak for free if number one, I have a relationship with that person. Because I know, align kami. Number two, I speak for free if it's also free. But there are some people that who will invite you. They will not pay you, but you will see that they have registration. Alam mo yun, people are paying to join the event, but they're not paying you. So you have to be, you have to think about it. Should you say yes or should you say no? But it's an active revenue source. Pero for most people, na experience ko in the Philippines, like the moment you tell them your rate, they will not even reply to your email. If you experience that, na when they reach out to you, they expect you to give everything for free. But I think they have to understand, and you also have to articulate it in a way without really also offending them, that I don't speak for free all the time. Maybe I could, but I also have a speaking rate. Parang ganyan. Facilitating webinars, you can also earn from that. Writing for online publications, there's so many online publications you can write. You get paid for it. Say 500 to 1,000 words, maybe $100, $200 for that. When I was a freelance writer, ganyan naman ako. I write, I edit for a fee or something. One-on-one mentoring, active revenue then, this is also one of the things that I have. May group mentoring, pwede rin. One-on-one coaching, pwede rin kayong magkaroon ng group coaching. There's a difference in the pricing. There's a difference in the results. There's a difference in the expectations. So whether it's one-on-one or group coaching, definitely your one-on-one is your signature program, and that costs a lot more. The fact that people will have direct interaction with you, you will help them personally, iba yung price non compared sa group kayo. So project-based consulting, I also have this project-based consulting. So you can have that, or time-based consulting. So okay, I'll do consulting with you, business consulting or whatever consulting based on time. But ako, I'm a believer that you should not exchange your time for a fee, because I was a freelancer for many years. I started freelancing na meron pa
Yeah.
akong time tracker. Alam mo yun na ang hirap buuin ng time na you get paid per time. I realized, don't do that. So if some of our listeners are freelancers, find a way so that you get out of that thing that you get paid per hour. Even as a coach, as much as possible, not per hour. Package your service. By doing the same thing, you can get more.
Yeah.
I want to share something. No, I sorry.
Tama. Don't rely on that.
Mm.
Uh, you are paid per hour. So, kanina we're discussing initially with Miss V, it has to be something in addition na you're sleeping and then you get to earn while sleeping.
Yan ang
Yeah,
goal
I
natin
agree. I agree.
ngayon.
I agree, Don B, because we're talking about monetizing your expertise, diba? And when you say expertise, you've worked hard for it, diba, for several years. And
Yeah.
like what you said, you're being paid for the results, because even if you work on those hours and you don't deliver results, then it's useless for the client.
Yeah. And even if it's just 1 hour of speaking, galing yun sa 10 years of experience mo eh. And 10 years of experience is not 5,000 pesos. Hindi ganon. So, let me share with you an example. I worked with a coach before. This coach, um, I saw him charging like 10,000 per hour and sometimes 5,000 pesos per hour. And so we talked about pricing because one of the things we do, actually we help them with pricing and expanding their market. And we talked about pricing, and I actually encourage her to package her services, because what we've noticed is that people will reach out, and then when you tell them your price, in her experience, she mentioned the price, and then the one who reached out said, oh, bakit si 5,000 lang per hour niya. So I
Ah, yeah.
saw this person I worked with, ginawa niyang 5,000. Sabi ko, ba't ka pumayag na 5,000 and all? So that day, we started to talk about pricing. So I shared with her what I learned through the years. Stop trading your hours for a fee. Don't do that. Package your service. So nag-package siya. Galing siya mag-package eh. So package A, B, C. So yung dating 90,000 that she's getting for hourly based coaching, she was able to come up with a package like 300, 600, and 900,000. She was afraid to say that price at the beginning kasi alam mo yun, yung comfort zone natin nandito lang eh. And when we start charging high, but I mentioned to her, you're building your brand, you're investing in yourself, you're taking a lot of courses for you to improve. So mag-aano siya, yun yung starting point at that time. And then she was very happy because it was not very difficult to sell the packages. So she said, I did not do anything differently. I did not add to what I do. It's the same thing that I do. It's just that I package them. So for doing the same thing for your clients, if you just package your services, you can get 10x of what you're getting right now. But of course, you have to also build your reputation, build your expertise, and invest in yourself. Malaki yung difference ng time at saka sa expertise. So, I'm all for value-based pricing eh. When you talk about pricing, it's another episode.
Yeah. Another session.
Session
Pero
yon. Mm,
ako, I agree with you kasi I'm thinking right now, no, parang if you package yourself on a per hour, parang optically it looks expensive eh. Parang you're costly. No, and I don't even see the value that you're bringing me, the result that I wanted. But if you're packaging it in a way that, this is the journey and this is point A to point B, this is where I'm gonna bring you, then, you know, parang somehow it also entices the client to
exactly.
really uh I mean
Exactly.
purchase your package.
Yeah, we call that value-based pricing as opposed to cost-based pricing. And in my experience, if the first question that a prospect asks you is how much, that's not a good sign. Red flag sa akin yun. Pag tinanong niya agad how much, we haven't even talked about how I can help that person, how much agad yung service ko. So yung ganon, red flag na yun. It means that they are based on cost, not based on the value that you can give them. Because imagine, I once had a consulting with a startup company, and then because the CEO is a good closer, galing niya mag-close eh. Talagang laging may
Wow.
naku-close. Nakita ko how the company grows. Say from when I joined them, they have like five full time. Ano to, startup founder. Seven, I worked with them as a consultant for 7 months, pero they grew. Now they already have 20, 20 plus full-time members. But when I left, they already have 15 members. And how can a company afford to grow that big? It's because we brought a lot of clients to them. So doon ako napapaisip na it's really important that you price yourself based on the value that you bring. How much ba? If you're able to bring one client to that company, to your client, how much does it cost them? So that's value based. You can check Blair Ends. Blair Enns also teaches price the client, not the job. So check him out as well. So anyway, active lahat yan. Done for you, we have done for you and done for you services, not recurring. The good thing about having a recurring service, by the way, if you're transitioning or you're building a, consulting or coaching business or freelance business, it's important that you have something that will bring money every month. Yung hindi pag if you work on everything na project based, mawawalan ka. There will come a point na walang papasok na revenue. So it's important to have something that you get revenue every month consistently. So meron kaming recurring na done for you services. So even if I do so many things, meron akong speaking, meron akong consulting, but I'm sure that the team will get their salaries on time, yung expenses namin, overhead, because we have recurring. It pays the bills and much more than that. Pero yung mga other revenue sources, extra na lang yun. Hindi kami nagre-rely sa project-project lang. Especially pag may team ka, hindi ka pwedeng pa-project-project lang unless sobrang ano na siguro. Yeah. Influencer or ambassador program. And in the Philippines, it's not yet parang it's quite new in my experience. Pero it pays well. Once you establish your expertise, once you have a network, people will be willing to pay you just for that. Nakita lang nila na active ka and you have the same market, they will pay you for that. And it pays a lot to be an influencer. Minsan per post. Before I had an engagement with a company, they will pay you per post. So how much are you charging per post? Sa LinkedIn to ha. So think of that. If you are able to establish your expertise and presence, people will pay you for what it is that you do. Teaching online, ito marami rin ito ngayon. Simply hosting virtual events. This is quite skilled and not everybody can do this as well. And maraming skill-based revenue sources. You can write, you can design website, you can design whatever it is that you do, maraming revenue sources. And again, active lahat to. But there's another form. Ito yung gusto namin ni Mark this year. Mas maraming passive. When you say passive, it gives you money even when you're not really you're not using your time. So on-demand webinar, pwede rin you publish books or ebooks. But what I'm hearing from people is that you don't really get a lot from books or ebooks, but your books and ebooks are great at building your expertise and credibility. So they know you have a book. You can also package it. One of the things I learned from Dory Clark, you should read her book. Meron siyang book na Stand Out, Entrepreneurial You, and Reinventing You. I'm a Dory fan, Dory Clark fan, and I've been following her for many years. And one of the things she said is that if she speaks and if it's for free, at the early career niya to ha, she mentioned she speaks for free, but the agreement is that the company will get her book by the bulk. Maramihan, siguro thousands of copies. And so yun, free yung talk mo, but you will be, they will buy your books in bulk. And then something like that. When you're starting, I think it's okay to do that. So it's not, sometimes a book itself could be an indirect revenue source. You will earn more from the indirect source rather than direct. Kasi kung ebooks, for example, sa Amazon, few dollars eh. But yung indirect nun, like people see that you're an author, so they will contact you and they will hire you as a coach in the company or as a consultant in the company. Online courses, yung gagawin natin. Meron referral program, membership-based community. I see a lot of people also successful in creating community and making it membership-based, meaning they pay membership fees. And then the owner of the community shows up like every week. Every week siya mag-show up to add value, to answer questions in a Q&A, and helping really people in the community. So that's membership based. But the good thing about membership based is that you can actually upsell these people. So if you have higher tier products, some of them could upgrade to that. They can become, VIP client from your membership community. Paid digital content. So when they download $10, $9 per download. You can also choose to have that affiliate program. So if you have, alam ko may mga, if you have links, I also have this agreement. So I have a link exclusive, and when people actually sign up using that link, I get something from it. So that's affiliate program. Sponsorship also, if you have an event, if you have something, you can get sponsorships. Ito sa mga anak, naisip ko na to, like yung sa YouTube, they can have branded merchandise to sell them also. Passive din yun. Monetizing your YouTube channel and monetizing your podcast. These are passive revenue sources. So there's so many options. So I'd like you to think about what your expertise is, start building credibility, and try to balance between active and passive. And later on, the goal actually should be passive. How can you make more money without using more of your time? Now, how do we do that on LinkedIn? Now, let's make it tactical this time. You know your expertise, you're credible, you've optimized your profile. Now, how do you actually turn your presence on LinkedIn into something that pays the bill? One,
Yeah.
design, tactical talaga to. So, pinaka ano na siya, specific. Design a LinkedIn profile banner that shows your expertise and credibility. I would always go for expertise. Position yourself as the expert, not the one selling this and that, because people are not on LinkedIn to buy. They're here on LinkedIn because they're looking for content, they're looking for solutions. So my example here is Chinkitan. So adding a lot of value, and he made it clear what he does, teaching people how to become wealthy and debt free. Ito din, this is Ann Kurwariko. You look at his profile, a lot of engagements, authentic posts, but really he shows his expertise on his banner as well. The next one, nawawala yung ano, ito na lang. Use the featured section to show also your expertise and establish credibility. So LinkedIn has that featured section. Feature there what you think will help you push your prospects down the funnel. So what does that mean? If someone lands on your profile and this is your target market, but that person is not yet decided whether he or she should contact you, ask yourself, what is it that that will make this person contact me? Show your expertise, show your credibility. Expertise, ano ba yung pain points niya? Maybe you should write an article about whatever pain point that person has. For example, in my case, they don't have visibility on LinkedIn. So I created 40 secrets to boosting your visibility on LinkedIn. This is for people who have pain points na they always post but nobody sees their posts. So what is it? What is that? What are those things? Feature them on your featured section. So I like Heather Monahan's profile. Check her out as well. So talagang credibility, establishing credibility and expertise. You were featured in the real leaders, yan, keynote speakers in the world 2022. These will add to your authority. So feature them. The next one, number three, I think I only have 10 tips here. Number three, ask for recommendations. So every time you work with a client or you had a training, ask for recommendations. So when I had, for example, NAS Academy course, and I had like one-on-one consulting, 30-minute free. I offered a 30-minute free consulting to those who attended the course. And then when I had a chance to talk to them, I asked for a recommendation. So everything that you do, think about recommendations, because this is important, because for people who don't know you yet, they want to see who trusts you. They want to know that they want to make sure that they're making that decision to contact you. So ask as many recommendations as possible. When you ask for recommendations, number one, with your clients, from your clients, ask for recommendations also from people in the same industry, because it shows you that you know exactly what you're talking about, because people in your industry actually endorse you. So it's like I have Marina here, same industry, and think about your parang your profitable revenue and your revenue generating um, revenue generating sources. And then, for example, if you want to focus on workshop, ano ba, kunwari, corporate workshop, you want to get more clients from the corporate. Gusto mo B2B ka, ayaw mo ng individual lang yung kino-coach mo, yung ganyan. Gusto mo buong team. Because that's more profitable than isa-isa. Diba? So, what you need to ask for recommendations are from people that you work with from the corporate. So, once you have a workshop sa corporate, ask them for a recommendation. Or if you want to focus on one-on-one consulting, one-on-one coaching, or one person, B2C yung approach mo, then get as many recommendations from individuals that you have created results for. So whatever your target in terms of revenue generation and whichever is profitable to you, you get recommendations from those people. So, tama ba yun? Clear ba yung sabi ko? Pero ganon. So, isipin mo rin ano ba yung profitable sa'yo, yun yung focus mo doon. And you
Ayan.
can also display client testimonials. So I have recommendations on my profile, but some people will not really go there eh. Hanggang sa taas lang sila, tas they don't really scroll down. So make it easy for them to to see the recommendation. So what I do, I place the recommendations, which I also got from my profile here. I place them in the presentation deck, and then I upload them to LinkedIn. So they will see it on featured section. They don't have to dig deep in my profile to see it, because the goal is I want this person, I want my prospects that when they land on my profile, they will immediately trust me, because they probably know Chinkitan. If I were able to help Chinkitan and they trust Chinkitan, maybe I can get some share of the trust being associated with him. So think about that. Highlight client testimonials that you think can help you convert the person from being a profile viewer to being your client. Next, create a position based on your expertise. Again, this is what I don't see a lot of people do. You do a lot of things. So, what are those things that bring revenue to you? Now, create different position based on that expertise. For example, here, Chinkitan is doing a lot of things, but you will see in his profile there's an experience or position on being a finance expert, on being a motivational speaker, and being an author. So if you're also an expert in your niche, but you are also doing some speaking, and you're also, you want also to sell your book, create different positions for that. And that's the same thing that I do. I have different services. I put on top the ones that I want to be known for, always on top. And then the others that also bring revenue to us, I create a position for that, like being a trainer. I'm not positioning myself as a trainer or speaker in my profile, but when they visit my profile, they know I can also speak, I can also train, I can also do workshop. Or I can help them create their content strategy, because I'm also a LinkedIn content strategist. But in my headline, I don't, place everything in my headline, because I want to focus on two things. So there. John Mark, what do you think? And Raymond.
Yeah, we're learning a lot actually.
Oo, to those who are listening, you thought it was ano 'no, initially 'no, a marketing ano lang 'no. This is actually a masterclass happening right now.
Yes, yes,
And
agree.
kasi
So, thank you
wanna
so
make
much,
sure
Mas, for
takeaway
bringing that.
talaga. Gusto ko
Yeah,
talaga merong immediately you can apply, because I think that's how we also make a difference eh. May matandaan lang silang isa or dalawa dito that can help them really be in that mode na they're thinking about how do I monetize without selling. You can do
Yeah,
that without selling. All of these things that I'm teaching you, I didn't say buy now. I didn't tell you to say buy
yeah.
now. Walang ganon, di ba? But you're positioning yourself as an expert, because that's the way for you to get people to buy from you. And these are all from experiences, because as I always mention nga, all our leads, inbound lahat. Wala kaming outbound. We don't do ads. We don't do that. Ang marketing lang namin is my profile. There's nothing else. But you don't see
Wow.
me saying buy now. You don't see
Yeah,
me do that, 'di ba?
don't hard sell. Yeah, yeah.
hindi, wala talagang hard sell. That's
Mm.
true. But then also give yourself, parang you also have to recognize if you're doing a lot of things, you want people to also see what else you're doing without you, without you confusing them. So I think this is a good
Mm.
way to do that. Sa position ilagay nyo siya. You're also an influencer, put it there. You're also whatever it is, put it there on your profile, even if you have a full-time job. I know people are like that. They have a full time job, but what makes the difference is what they do before 8 a.m. and what they do after 5 p.m.
After 5 p.m.
What they do before 8 and after 5 is what makes them become an expert in their
Mm.
field. And so when they decide to to jump out of the corporate, they won't be afraid because they have already established their presence. So invest
Wow.
in yourself, but position yourself. No, don't be the same person na yung prices mo is so low, because again your pricing is also a branding strategy.
Yeah.
If you have events, revenue generating events, whatever, create a LinkedIn events page. Ayan, yesterday I attended Curly's workshop, webinar, and ito I use this as an example. The good thing about this, when people join, those Jamark who are not familiar, no, of course you already know this, but to those who are not familiar, when you create a LinkedIn event page, it gives you an opportunity to engage with the attendees. So, for example, right now, if there are 496 who join the events page, we can actually message them like, hey, if you were not able to watch um, the webinar, here's the link to the recording. You can still watch it when you're available, and you start building relationship with them because there's an interest. Maybe they really want to learn about how to monetize. It just happened that they're busy right now or they're doing something
Mm.
else, but there's an interest. So kailangan take that interest up a notch, take that to another level, engage with
Yeah.
them, build relationship. They may not be a client right now, but you never know. They will refer you because they know that you know how to do this, or when they're ready, they will reach out to you.
Miss
Marami akong
B.
ganon na 2 years later, biglang nagpaparamdam.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess I have to make an announcement then, no, to
Yes.
our future sharers like you. This is what I typically say to them, no. Wag po kayong don't be afraid na aattend sa atin konti lang because one of the lessons that we've learned because of this pandemic, people mostly prefers watching
Recording.
On
the live
demand.
stream after the recorded version. That's why
Mm.
uh, we were discussing earlier, Miss Virginia, na gusto ko nung mas concise, i-edit pa 'to. Kasi yun siyempre mas maganda i-deliver yung product na straight to the point to our audiences. So, don't be afraid na konti man 'yan, pero as what Miss Virginia mentioned, 'di ba, we can contact them, we can send them. I can send them all things related to Miss Virginia, giving her more exposure. Same with Sir Raymond. So,
Yeah, and
Mm-mm.
besides Mark, these materials actually stay permanently here.
yeah,
So, di ba?
gold na 'yan.
Who knows?
That's gold.
One day, di ba?
One day.
One day they'll find it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That one day is when they feel the pain, because people don't act until there's pain. So when they feel, I have to reach out to a career coach because I'm no longer happy, but I don't know what to do. So yun sila may isip, how can a career coach help me? And when they start searching, you should be there. So meron kang keywords and you show your expertise and all that. Also build audience interest through LinkedIn campaigns. So again, if you're selling a book, you have a course, you don't just, hey, buy now. It doesn't work. You have to build audience interest. Meaning, if you're launching a book, for example, in June, January pa lang you're starting to build interest. You build interest with people by, this is just an example. For example, for my mentoring program, you don't sell the program. Hey, I have a mentoring program, but you sell the results. What will they get out of it? So if they're transitioning, what will they get out of it? Why should they enroll and all that? Highlight the benefits, show testimonials, address objections, because you need to have an idea what will be the objection. Maybe the price, it could be too high for them, or maybe the time commitment. If it's a 12-week program, maybe they don't have 12 weeks and all that. Address them, and then continue to share insights about some of the topics that you will probably discuss. Share case studies and tell stories relevant to your products or services. So it's not selling. So you need to have marketing plan for pre-event, whatever it is that you're launching during and after. So it's
Mm.
about building
Building
audience
up.
interest. Oo. Kailangan nagbi-build up ka na ng interest so you don't look like you're selling. Na upfront, bukas yung launch ng book mo, ngayon sasabihin mo, here's the link to buy my book. Ang awkward niya talaga. O kaya so anong value nun sa kanila? Always think about that when you start posting. Ang tanong kasi, anong value? If you want them to attend something for free, that's already a value. Like what we're having right now, they don't have to pay, but once they have, they start thinking about some of the things that we've discussed, it will probably spark something in them and make them become more conscious and deliberate about how they use LinkedIn, so they become an expert, be seen as an expert, and later on make money from their presence. Creating LinkedIn service page is also another tactic. So create your service page that helps you also get found. Also, I would recommend that you highlight your revenue generating activities. So, for example, you have workshops, paid events, paid workshops, highlight them on your profile. Because, this is the because, and I will tie it up on the last one. So, highlight it in your profile. At the same time, talk about it in your posts. Because what I see happening is that if I have a workshop with one company, for example, this post when I had this masterclass with the Aboitiz group. When I posted this, it led to four other leads, four other companies who also want employer branding for their company. And then I was able to close two of them. So one opportunity will give more opportunities. And that's the reason we post about what we do. It's not to brag about what we do, but we know that people probably haven't taken time, probably they don't know that I'm also doing workshop. But when they saw this post, oh, nag-workshop pala si Virginia, makontak ko. Maybe they don't know that you're doing coaching, that you're doing one-on-one mentoring. We have a one-on-one mentoring program. Talk about it here. When I launch on my mentoring program, I talk about it, but make it personal. It's not like buy me, that buy my course, buy my program, buy now. Hindi siya ganun. But make it personal, turn it into a story, or make sure that it adds value to others. And siguro end na to, last na to, final thoughts. Three things lang. Always remember, building your credibility is a long game. Not one day, not one week, maybe not one month, and it has to be consistent. Number two, pricing is part of your branding. So be strategic with your pricing as well. Research what the market offers and really think about if there are like offers that come to you. Really think about if it's worth your time working with that person and working on that project. So pricing, do you want to be the cheapest if you're in the industry? If you are building your expertise and your credibility and your price is very low, that will also be a reflection of you. When I started, I remember 2018, I can count in my head, I had three clients who told me your price is very low for the value that you give. So doon ako, nung unang nagsabi sa akin noon, he's from Australia. He because I develop relationship with my clients. So close na kami, nagiging close kami because we meet every week. Eh. We have conversation every week and they're honest with me. So I have three of them, yung isa sabi niya, it's very low, your pricing is very low. The other one, sobra, Virginia, ganyan yung term niya, sobrang baba. So sabi ko, ano ba yan? Insulto ba yan? O ano? Hindi, sabi niya, because you know that I appreciate the value and all that. So doon ako na I started thinking about my pricing. I had this workshop and that person after my workshop also mentioned that what his term was, I'm undervaluing my service and all that for the value that they get. So from those feedback, honest feedback from the clients before that I've worked with, I learned that pricing really is very important. It's part of your branding. You don't want it to be the cheapest. Don't want to be a commodity. If you're investing in yourself, you want to make sure that you're pricing it. You're pricing your service as well. I remember what Dory Clark mentioned in her book, and she learned it also from another person which I forgot. Sabi niya, to price your service, she recommended whatever it is that scares you. How much is that amount that scares you? And then add 10%. Parang mas lalo kang masya-shock. You should be happy doing it.
That's
Kung,
more scary,
kung,
huh?
Oo, kung na-scare ka na, dagdagan mo pa ng 10%, that's your price. Value-based pricing also works. Blair ends, price the client, not the job. So, ako, I don't have one price for all. Hindi siya. Depende sa value that we bring. Depende how we can help you and all that. So, I do discovery call. I don't answer questions like how much and then I give them the price. I invite them to have a discovery call with me so that I would know the value that I can bring them. So yeah, it's a separate journey and maybe worth another webinar. And finally, always be so good people can't ignore you. I think that's the key. If you
Yeah.
don't want to go around selling your services, which you should not do because experts don't do that. If you're an expert and then you go around selling something, selling your book, selling your course, selling whatever it is that you have, I don't know. This is not how experts behave. Experts build credibility, they build their expertise, they invest in themselves. They're so good, people can't ignore them. When they're the ones to reach out to you, you control the conversation. And I think that's it. Thank you. Sa atin ni sharing, Jomar, no?
Wow! Marami ka bang na-pick up doon, John Mark?
Ang dami. So, eto naman lagi when we have a collaboration with Miss Virginia, it's all about ano talaga, public service. You get to learn to benefit a lot. So, ayun, when you give naman talaga, definitely you'll be
True,
be
true.
repaid. Hindi mo lang alam na yun na pala yun. Ayan,
So,
so yep.
ako naman magtatanong, Joe Mark and Raymond. Pwede
Ayan
ba
na, ayan na.
magtanong? So, what's that one key takeaway that you'll take with you that you think they can be helpful to others also?
Hmm. Sige, I can go first, John Mark, if you're still thinking. Ako, my one key takeaway, no, parang monetizing your expertise in LinkedIn, parang it's like love and relationship. You stick to
Mm.
one so that you will stick to the heart. So in LinkedIn, you stick to one expertise so that you will stick to the mind. Ako yun yung one
Yun,
key takeaway.
long enough for it to stick with their minds, di ba?
Yes.
Pagpapalit-palit, yun. Malilimutan ka na bigla. Thank you, Raymond. Joe Mark, what about, how about
Ah,
you?
ako parang three keywords naman ang nag-ano sa akin. So, you mentioned about community. Ayan, very, very powerful. Community is hindi yan about sales, it's a community about a family. Like the Lincoln Local Top 100 is a family helping each other out. So it really is very, very powerful. I like you, Miss V. I learned that the hard way. That's why we're creating so much communities na minsan nako-confuse na ako. So, sa I have created so much
Mm-mm.
communities na constantly growing. Alam niyo po 'yan, 'di ba? Lincoln Local, Metro South,
Mm-mm. True.
ang dami niyan. They are constantly growing and I myself nahihirapan ako tapos and pangalawang keyword, education. 'Di ba?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be an expert always, 'di ba? Parang may nagbanggit ata ng Kaizen Ikigai ba, gano'n. So,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
always never stop learning. Ayan, alam ni Miss ano 'yan, Jeanette. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
passionate na lahat tayo, lahat kayo especially the young ones. Ayan,
True.
aral lagi and siguro yung tatlo yung parang don't expect ano na anything in return. Initially, wag mong iisipin 'yun.
Mm-hmm.
Always think about others and it will find its own way to you. Now, same like with Miss V, learned that through the years, the hard the hard way. Ayan. So, I guess yan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jomark, separate session yan the hard way. Yeah. I think we need to talk about it.
Oo nga. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every day it's a learning journey. Kapareho
Yeah.
ngayon, 'di ba? May natutunan. Kahit ba pareho kayo ng niche, meron kang mapupulot lagi you'll always learn something new from from one
True.
another, from someone. So, talagang build the community, ayan, connect.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Ayan, yep.
Yeah.
I
We're now
think that.
open for questions, comments, suggestions. I don't
Or
know,
key
Miss.
takeaways.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Ayan.
our attendees were taking down notes, pero I saw kanina si Humaira, I think. Humaira was actually sharing her notes sa comment
Oo,
section, I
ayan.
think in YouTube.
Shout
Thank you,
out to her,
Humaira.
no? Yeah, she was
Yes, shout
highlighting
out.
all those gold nuggets. And maybe,
Mhm.
yeah, I've highlighted some of her comments. What's your take on this, Miss V? Are you seeing this?
Yeah. How can we understand the algorithm organically? There's no easy way, but what I will recommend, for example, in 1 week, test one content format. Say, video ka, video for the whole week, and look at the reach. And then the next week, try mo all text posts. Don't change other elements, like the timing should be the same and all that. You will know how the algorithm works by observing, looking at the analytics, looking at the reach, looking at engagement. And pag mababa yung engagement, you will know it's not working. So in my case, when I post, and then after an hour, yung reach ko below 500, alam ko, there's nothing else that I can expect from that. But if I post something and I get engagement within the hour, um, I still get I got a lot of engagement and reach. So I know it's 500 below. It's already 1 hour. I can probably just post another one after 4 or 5 hours. So experiment, explore, before you actually make a decision whether this is working for you or whether it's not working for you. And you should know your audience. Do they like visuals? Are they more on images? Do they like videos? Do they like all text? Because we have different clients, and the content format that works for each of them, for each of their audience, is different. Yung isa, all text is working, isa, videos are working, so you really have to experiment. And it's your profile, you can easily experiment and explore. But yun nga, same time, don't change other elements, just the content format, and you will see which one is working and which is not.
Yeah. B, can I have a follow-up question on that?
Yeah, sure.
What I just noticed that it seems like there are specific topics. I don't know if LinkedIn is able to read the topic that you're talking about. No? Even if, for example, you're telling a story or you're doing a short text post, seems like there are specific topics that attract so much engagement right away. I don't know if it's something that LinkedIn algorithm can actually spot.
It has a role. Definitely, it has a role on the feeds. For example, if you see, di ba merong see more? If people click on see more, that's already being counted, because LinkedIn has what it calls the dwell time, the amount of time that a person looks at your post, and the amount of time they look at your post after clicking see more. So that's engagement. But what I also noticed, you will see if it's inspirational and it's applicable to all. I mean, regardless of your seniority at work, regardless of your position, of your job, if it's like a universal thing, you're talking about gratitude, you're talking about love, you're talking about these things,
Mm.
it gets a lot of engagement. But when you start talking about something niche, Like yung kay Jomark, very niche siya on the tech side. You can expect that there will be less engagement. But again, the algorithm has a lot to do with it as well. So you should
Yeah.
also explore, going back to the first question, explore which one works for you. And once you find that, do more of that and do less of what doesn't work.
Yeah. Two topics that if I may share, two topics that I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that easily gain traction would be topics about rejections or failures.
Yeah, yeah. Yung vulnerability side of the people. And I think what I understand is when you become the people's voice, like they have something in mind, but they can't express it. They want to feel empowered, but they can't express it. And when you post something empowering them, telling them that you are worth it, telling them that, all of those words that empower them, it resonates with them because I think by nature we want to feel, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to feel
Yeah.
empowered regardless of who you are. So it works so well, inspirational works so well. And during this time, sometimes that's the only thing that we need right now. We don't need all the theories, we don't need all the tips and expert insights if we have so many issues in our head, but one post
Mm.
that inspires can make a real
Encourages.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is from our
Haba ng
supporter,
tanong.
Sir Raymond.
Oh. Ano tanong niya? Some companies sometimes look for a jack of all trades. For example, the previous work, companies, corporations may look for this because I wonder how specialized. My question is, do you target these companies? Because I see that they're looking, I'm not about this company, but in my case, um, if they look for someone who can do everything, is this the company that you want to join? Do you really want to do everything? Remember, if we're doing a lot of things, we're not effective in all, we're effective only in one. So maybe this not the company for you if you want to specialize only in one. And you will see when we start specializing, we will attract the kind of company that also puts a premium on specializations. Like for example, social media manager, there are so many companies looking for someone to manage all social media platforms, but the truth is it requires different skills. You need to understand how IG works, it's different from how LinkedIn works and Facebook works and all that. That's why I don't do social media, I do only LinkedIn. So and maybe what you can do is articulate that in your profile and put in the right keywords so you also don't become attractive to those that is not aligned, that are not aligned with your core values and with your specializations as well. Ganyan din sa LinkedIn kasi you will attract, if you're attracting the wrong people, it means your profile needs some tweaking, or maybe your post is not the best post that you should be doing. I'm not sure if I answered the question, but I hope it helps.
So, if ever, is it okay, for example, you've been known in LinkedIn already, you've established your credibility, your brand, and then later on, you wish to scale your business. For example, you want to venture into other related, um, maybe branches of what you're doing. So, it's something that you can do once you reach that point, is it?
Very easy. Very easy. Once you get known, all you have to do is to rebrand. It's much easier than starting from zero because people already know you. Now, all you have to do is to tweak your messaging. So stop talking about the old things. Start talking about your goal. I call LinkedIn profile optimization a forward-looking activity. Whatever you do now, this is not for today. This is for you to achieve your goal in the next 3 to 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. So definitely, if I decide to do something else, actually I'm deciding on that. I rebranded twice on LinkedIn. At the beginning, I was an assistant professor at that time, so I'm getting opportunities on that. And then I rebranded to LinkedIn, and I stopped getting opportunities on that because I stopped talking about it. And even if you have credentials, but your credentials are relevant to what you do before, if it's not going to help you with your goals right now, with different goals, then stop talking about it. And again, this is very important. Stop advertising your skills that will not help you in reaching your goals. So yung mga skills mo dati, if those are not the same skills that will take you to the next step, stop promoting that, stop talking about it, reframe everything, rebrand. But it's much easier because you already have built relationships with people.
Okay, ayan. Here's another one.
I don't know. It depends on the goal. It depends on the goal because we have clients who get leads because their profile is in another language. So it really depends on who your target market is. If your market is speaking another language and not English, you should really have another profile in another language. But if your target market is, people who can speak English, I think it's not necessary. So depending on your goals.
How can an academician best use LinkedIn?
When I was in the academe, the most one of the most important things I got is to have a collaboration with a professor from the one of the universities in California. When you're in the academe, it's very important to have international publication. So when I got that opportunity to have an international publication. So I have publications in international journals, but I don't promote myself with that credential because it's not helpful right now. But when I was in the academe, of course, you whatever your expertise is. So for example, you're a communication professor. Talk about communication, talk about industry in the higher education. So really stay in the lane as well and choose an expertise, be so good at that, be the resource person that people will reach out to. Not much difference from whether you're a marketer or an entrepreneur. It's just selecting your expertise, articulating that, and being good at that so people can't ignore you.
Ayan, so Umar asks for profile and provide feedback. Yes, please do connect with us. No
Yeah.
problem.
Mhm.
And again, please don't forget to like, follow Miss Virginia's page. Please connect with Sir Raymond Victorino. Of course, don't forget. Miss V as well. Of course. I'm currently pasting down the links to their profiles. Miss V, you have a YouTube channel din, di ba? I
Wag
forgot.
mo na ipakita, hindi ako na YouTube.
So,
LinkedIn lang ako, I'm a fan of one. LinkedIn
so if you
only.
can
Oo.
bring in,
Hindi, wala, I don't have. Meron. They're usually unlisted.
Work in progress.
yeah.
Yeah.
There.
For those who are interested to get a certificate of event participation, of course, one requirement is you have to be Miss V's subscriber. So let's help her out. She did not ask for any fee. What is just giving a subscribe, hitting the
Subscribe.
subscribe
Uh,
button? What is that, diba? Guys, come on, diba?
May ano ako, I wanna invite them, John Mark. We're
Yep.
having LinkedIn Local Philippines on Feb 19. So I'm inviting coaches and consultants to talk about psychological safety at work. How do we create team psychological safety at work? So we have as panelists, we have Peter Brace, a
Peter
psychological safety.
Brace.
Curly de Guzman, career coach, will help us understand the value of psychological safety in an environment in a workplace. Coach Anda will be there as well. And we have Tony Talosig of Great Place to Work. So I really invited
Wow.
them because I know that in this time of pandemic, people are working from home. People want to understand how do we actually encourage more people to speak up, especially in a remote
Yeah.
setup. So I have we're being joined by a career coach, psychological safety consultant, an executive coach, and managing director of Great Place to Work, who has all the data on what makes a great place to work particularly here in the Philippines. So again, this is like what you do na service for all, that if we learn from it, that makes us really happy na.
Do you
The
have a link for
Philippines.
that, Miss V? Or anyways, we
None
can
yet for
distribute
now.
the link.
None yet for now. None yet for now. But maybe I'll be announcing it next week. That will be on Feb 19.
Yep.
Feb
How about you,
19.
Sir Raymond? Any announcement?
None for now. So I'm looking forward to that LinkedIn local event though, because pre or during pandemic, psychological safety has been,
Yeah.
a big topic, especially in the workplace. So block your calendars and then make sure that you attend that event.
It's also ano it's also based on my experience. Now I realize maybe I left the corporate because there's no psychological safety. So it's my I'm honest about it, and it's my advocacy really to help those in the corporate, because
Yeah.
we know in the Philippines there's like power distance. You can't speak up to your boss, to your managers, because you're afraid it might be taken against you. And I want to see corporate. I'm not in the corporate, but I want to see the corporate, having more people who feel psychologically safe talking to their managers and leaders. So I invited all of these experts to help us better understand paano ba ma-achieve yung psych safety in the remote setup in the workplace.
Yeah.
And yeah, please check Miss Virginia's NAS Daily. Where can I find that? Course.
One live course lang siya, but maybe there will be another one. I haven't discussed that, but it's with NAS Academy. Marami pang darating na announcement, pero surprise.
Yeah.
Marami pang collaborations and coming up.
Yep. Yep. Showing you the link.
Uh,
Posting down the link. Yeah, please do check out her course in NAS Academy. Awesome.
Thank you for mentioning this.
Ayan. So, yep. Once more, if you have a message or an advocacy to share, like Miss Virginia, we're inviting you to be our next sharer in LinkedIn Local, Metro South's LinkedIn Live. So, again, hoping we've been blessing to everyone. Hoping you learned something new. And to those who are not able to attend, of course, we will be condensing this one into a condensed version. We'll be sending out the link. So, yep. Once more, thank you so much, Sir Raymond, Miss V.
Thank
Thank
you, as
you. Thank you
always,
so
Jomar can
much.
be.